So I will answer the question of how does it feel like to be an international student. Let's say I used to live in Berlin, and then I moved to Frankfurt, Oder, because I registered to be a student in Vienna. The first impression, I think, is the river. I love the river. Like I went out in the behind the canteens to the island, and they have such a nice sceneries. From time to time, I get used to the life here, even it's slower and not very, doesn't have a lot of activities like in Berlin. But then I like the feeling, the chill feeling, like the very calm, peaceful feelings in Frankfurt Oder.
Well, for the first question, I observed that there were many armed police here in Germany, including several police vehicles. It felt as if this was a dangerous space where a firefight could break out at any moment. Interestingly, more than half of the bridge area displayed the Polish and EU flags, but there was no German flag, which I found very.
So my first reaction to the local riverfront was I was kind of glad to have like this water and this natural space like nearby us, a place that seems like you can breathe and think and just relax nearby. So I was super glad to have it. But then after, when I understood like what is going on and that the river is not like that clean, people don't really occupy the borders of the river, I felt a little bit disappointed. But at the same time, I think it like gives the city a kind of softness.
I think I've never experienced any river as a place for the border, and so it was my first time experience, and I think liked the way the river was flowing, and people could walk around the bridge and have a look at that.
At the beginning, I think the first time I arrived in Frankfurt Oder, there's not a lot of container or something like border control maybe. At that time, max I see like just one or two police car stop in front of the bridge, and I have never been checked. Now the situation, I didn't have very positive feeling about it, because I see like the traffic was blocked very far away because of the border was being controlled, everybody was stopping, and then there's some weird reaction from the one who check. They always, like some of my friends encounter that they only check people with color or something. Anytime I cross the border, I always have the unease feeling.
On normal days, I observe when they check documents. For pedestrians crossing the border, the cops mostly target people of color. For vehicles, they generally stop only one car, do a brief inspection, and then let the following cars pass until the next random check. Once I was taken to a small black room after a passport check. Even though I presented my Schengen visa and the printed invitation from the summer school, They said, "We do not trust any paper documents besides the visa. You should have applied for a study visa for the school, not a tourist visa." With the help of an Italian classmate and a lab teacher who communicated in the local language, after about 20 minutes, they returned my passport and said they had discussed it eternally. They mentioned that it was not a big problem, but I should pay attention next time. However, according to my research, in principle, you cannot hold both a tourist visa and a German cultural visa at the same time. A 2-week summer school generally counts as a short-term cultural or educational activity, which can usually be covered by a tourist visa as long as the summer school provides an official invitation. So I would say, well, they don't really understand the policy. And they are just policy enforcers given too much power, enjoying moments when people cannot refuse or resist.
About the experience that I encountered at the local border, it's kind of weird to say because nothing happened with me. Like I was never stopped. And it's crazy because somehow times I suffer like some prejudice when I start talking and tell people where I'm from. It's weird that I'm like every day crossing the border, and because my appearance, I'm probably never stopped, but I'm never crossing the border like talking on the phone my own language or something like this, because I'm sure that if someone hears me talking, I'm gonna be stopped. And in the same way that's the moment that I start talking and say like where I'm from, this kind of prejudice appears and racism. And the control by itself is not fair, but the way that they are dealing with it and the way that they are managing the situation somehow, it's really sad, and and I don't know, makes me a little bit hopeless. And yeah, every time that I pass there, I'm always thinking about it. It's yeah, something that moves me in a way that is just so unfair.
The experience at the local border was like, for the first time, I think it was a little bit anxious for me. So I've never crossed a border like this, and since we were told that it is going to be a little bit more, the border being controlled much more, with much more power from the last time, that it was not. So I think anxiety was there, but I think it still was fine because they didn't stop after looking at my passport. So it was fine to me. Other than that, I think at some point there were situations when I felt like this is too much that they're asking, even if it's a border control, and how they're doing racial discrimination. But I think as long as they are not challenging the dignity and respect we are coming with as an international person, I feel like it's fine. But I agree with a lot of other people that they are racially discriminating when checking, and it's really unfair if you're doing so. Even if someone has a valid passport, you're doing this kind of act to them.